Well, coming up right now, thousands will pack the Austin Convention Center tomorrow for the Texas Conference for Women. And giving the keynote speech this year is Gail Devers. She's the 5-time Olympian, 9-time world champion, and 3-time Olympic gold medalist in track and field, who was one of the fastest women alive for almost 2 decades. But behind the scenes, she was dealing with an autoimmune condition, and she is joining us right now. We have a legend here. Joining us right now to really discuss that journey. Everyone knows your journey on the track, but off the track, there was a much different journey. You were diagnosed with Graves' disease before you won your Olympic medal.
I was, people think it was the opposite, but it was like 1988. I was headed to my first Olympic Games, and basically the bottom fell out. I went 2.5 years undiagnosed. I went from weight loss, hair loss. I was tired all the time, but I was also having symptoms with my eyes. And so finally I was actually diagnosed, went to doctors, and they're telling me, oh, there's nothing wrong. As an athlete, you know your body. And so in 1990, I was finally diagnosed with Graves' disease, came back and started to get my life back on track, won my first gold medal. And I thought I was getting my life back on track. I was still having symptoms with my eyes that I had from the beginning. They were bulging, they were red, they were irritated, they were dry. And not one doctor ever told me that those eye symptoms were separate from my Graves' disease. It would take me 30 years before I found out that I was also living with thyroid eye disease, which is an autoimmune that's separate but related, but it requires separate treatment. I had to get an oculoplastic surgeon or a neuro-ophthalmologist, and I just wish that I knew these things earlier.
So 30 years, there was a 30-year gap until you figured that out. What was that journey like? What did you have to do? I mean, obviously you advocated for yourself to get to the bottom of this.
Girl, I went to doctors, and nobody was listening. They didn't understand, and they made me feel like I was making things up. In the meantime, my career was put on hold. I stopped going out of the house. I covered up my mirrors because I had gone from 120 pounds down to 80 pounds.
Wow.
There's a problem.
And so you were dropping weight. You knew that something was wrong. You knew that something was wrong. So finally, they diagnosed you with this. And so, what was the journey like after that? What did you have to do to make sure that you were healthy physically and really mentally? Because it took a mental toll on you.
No, and I'm glad you're asking that, because this week is Thyroid Eye Disease Awareness Week, and I call him Ted. If somebody's been living with you for 30 years and wreaking havoc and you don't know, he deserves a name. So Ted is being managed now through an oculoplastic surgeon and neuro-ophthalmologist. And I just want people to know the link. If you have Graves' disease, you're at an increased risk of developing thyroid eye disease. About 50% of people with Graves' disease may develop this. So you need to know, you need to get in and listen to your eyes. If you're feeling, your eyes are bulging, irritated, dry, you've got to get in and see a doctor. There's a website. It's Focus on TED or focusonted.com. Make it easy. And you just have to stay, you talked about the mental part of it. You have to stay strong. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to go, I don't care if you have to search. Just don't stop until you get the care that you need and you deserve. We have one life, and we deserve that quality of life. And that's what I had. People will put you in a box. I felt like I was in a box and people were sitting on top of it and not letting you out. And eventually you just have to say, you know what? This may be, if I'm looking at this person in the mirror and that's not the same person that I was, I gotta get back to Gail. I gotta find her. I have goals and dreams that I set for myself, and I'm not gonna let anything deter me. And I think that was a big help in me getting my life back on track for real. And I want other people, we've got the Olympic Games coming up.
Yes. People
are gonna be racing to the finish line. I want you to race to the doctor. I want you to make sure that you get the care that you deserve. I think I suffered enough for everyone. It seems like as a sprinter, I took the marathon route to getting my diagnosis, and it shouldn't be like that. I just want people to know that there is a link. And I say it all the time. It may not be you. Yeah. But I guarantee you're going to come in contact with someone who's complaining of these. You can say, hey, you know what, that sounds like my friend Gail. She had that. I need you to go to this website and get that care that you need and get your life back on track.
And you talk about staying strong in your life, getting back on track. We watched you on television And I don't think many people knew that you were even dealing with this. So how were you able to stay strong in those moments while behind the scenes you were really dealing with this disease, crippling disease?
You know, and like you said, it can be very debilitating, both of these. You know, it got to the point where I stopped driving at nighttime because the lights from the oncoming cars were bothering me. And mentally, I set goals for myself and I write them down on sticky notes and I sign them. And that's that contract that I have that I'm not going to let anything deter me. And people can tell you, I always tell people that words have a significant impact.
Yes, power.
And I don't care who it is, your doctor, your teacher, whomever, if they're telling you something and you don't think that that's right for you, then you have to shop for a better spot. And unfortunately, it took me 2.5 years on one side and 30 on the next, but I'm still healing. You know, I'm so excited and appreciative to partner with Horizon and Amgen because they give me a voice. And that voice, when I can go out and I can tell other people, you know, when you know better, you should do better. And I wish I'd had the information that I have now. Back then, it wouldn't have taken me that long. But I don't want anyone else to suffer like that, so I have to educate people.
And what's helped you the most on this healing journey that you're still on today? What's helped you the most in that journey?
Reaching out and touching somebody else. You know, I believe that my life is about service, and if something has happened to me in my life and I can turn around and help you not have to go through that, that makes me feel like, you know, it's all worth. I don't think, and I say it all the time, if I had my whole life to live over, I would ask for all of this. Ted, but I'd have Ted under control a little sooner, but I'll ask for everything the same just because it's made me stronger.
Yes.
And that's what it is. When you feel like you can't go on, I believe that everyone is a champion. And we have that mentality in us, and it's when times are tough that you have to find and reach down. You know, I'm appreciative to all the associations, from the Graves' Disease Association to the Thyroid Eye Disease Association, because I felt like I was on an island by myself and nobody understood. And then to be able to talk to people and to find out that, hey, I know somebody who's feeling the same way. Oh my gosh, it's power in numbers, and you can heal together.
So you've inspired me. You've inspired so many people here in the studio too. Any words of encouragement for someone who might be going through tough time? Maybe they're not dealing with Graves, but they might be dealing with another tough life situation. Any words of encouragement for them?
Well, you know, we all have things that we have to go through. And like I said, it's during those times when you feel like you want to give up, you can't give up. Write your goals down. I used to put them in several places in my house as a constant reminder. And even when I was going through the Graves' disease, first of all, and coming back from that. Now after 2.5 years, my goals were a little dusty, but they were still my goals. I had written it down, I had signed it. I had to dust it off and keep going. You know, I had young kids and I'm driving and I had to stop driving. I was like, I'm too young to have to stop driving, but Ted was taking control. And you have to keep searching. You have to keep searching and keep searching. You know your body better than anybody else. Or no matter what it is you're going through, whether it's health related or whatever, be your own best advocate. Trust your gut, because it won't lead you wrong. And just stay vigilant. And then the main thing is, what is success? Everybody wants to be successful, but it doesn't mean you have to own the company, make the most money, or come across the finish line first. It's by your efforts. It's a winning effort. And I tell people all the time, I'm recruiting relay runners in everything, because we're passing on the baton of knowledge so that we can help. If I touch you, and when you need somebody to lean on, because that's what got me through. Support from my family when times got hard, and I knew that other people didn't believe that I could do anything, but it's what I believed about myself. And you can't let anybody else deter you from those beliefs.
Community is so important. You are so important. Thank you for using your voice to help so many people. And I know that the women and the men who are at tomorrow's conference will certainly be inspired.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me to come here. And like I said, if you know somebody, tell them, get in control of TED, focus on TED.com.
Okay, Gail Devers, thanks again for being with us. We'll be right back.